Good evening and welcome to KSN News Center Tonight with Jim Jackson, Sherry Sanders, Ken Ford Weather, Jim Odie Sports, and the entire KSN News Center team.
Good evening. At the top of the news tonight, Tonya Harding has pleaded guilty.
Harding entered the plea tonight to conspiracy to hinder prosecution in the attack on figure skating rival Nancy Kerrigan.
Harding was also sentenced this evening. KSN's Jim Odie will have a complete report during sports. Elsewhere tonight, the Democrats' front against holding congressional hearings on the Clinton-Whitewater controversy appears to be cracking.
One prominent House member said hearings appear inevitable, but the president and top House and Senate leaders are resisting strongly. Sandy Gilmore reports.
Power just went out in the building.
Illinois Congressman Dan Rostenkowski, the powerful head of the Ways and Means Committee, is now deeply indebted to President Clinton for helping him win a crucial primary election. But even Rostenkowski thinks congressional hearings will have to be held on Whitewater.
I think the congressional hearings are going to be inevitable. It all depends on whether it becomes a circus or not.
Earlier this week, prominent House Democrat Lee Hamilton indicated hearings might be the best way to get the facts out. But House Speaker Tom Foley still refuses to budge, arguing it would interfere with the special prosecutor's work. In a news conference with the Israeli Prime Minister, Clinton faced only one question on Whitewater, but again refused to provide a detailed answer.
Look, I don't have anything else to say about that right now. We are cooperating fully with the special counsel, which is what all of you asked me to do.
Some mayors who met with Clinton agreed with the president that it's time to get back to the issues.
I think the public back home is numb with Lorena Bobbitt, Michael Jackson, and Whitewater.
The public may or may not be numb over Whitewater, but pushed by Republicans, the affair is taking on a life of its own, with televised hearings bound to be held sooner or later. Sandy Gilmore, NBC News, the White House.
And back here closer to home, an elderly woman lost her life today in a car wreck in northeast Oklahoma. Police say 87-year-old Florence Dooley of Seneca was traveling east on Highway 60 just west of the Oklahoma-Missouri border. Dooley made a left-hand turn into the path of another vehicle. Dooley died at an area hospital. The driver of the other vehicle, Joyce Walker of Grove, was treated for injuries and released. The accident happened around 2 this afternoon.
And in news making headlines tonight from around the 4 states, former Ottawa County, Oklahoma Sheriff Thero Whittle will stand trial on perjury charges. Whittle is charged with lying on the witness stand when he testified last August during a preliminary hearing involving a 1987 murder investigation. 2 Indiana teenagers are in custody tonight after leading Newton County officers on a wild chase this morning. The pair are charged with armed criminal action, resisting arrest, and assaulting a police officer. And officials in Cherokee County, Kansas are interviewing more witnesses in connection with the search for the body of a 30-year-old man. Late last week, officers searched a mine shaft in Galena near the State Line Road.
Oklahoma lawmakers are considering a bill that prohibits teens who use tobacco products from getting their driver's licenses. It calls for fines to those caught buying tobacco products, and those kids who don't pay their fines could be denied their driver's license. Tonight in our daily news poll, we asked our viewers if they thought tobacco-using teens should be denied a driver's license. And apparently our callers felt the measure is too harsh. Most of them said no. Those teens should not be denied a driver's license. The measure is still under debate.
And still to come tonight on KSN, a 4-state area is still one step closer to getting a hospital.
And we'll meet our hero of the month. We'll be right back. Some residents have been without a hospital for almost a year. And as KSN's Cheryl Matthews reports, that facility is on its way to recovery.
Just a few months after Dr. Bill Harrison began treating patients here at Oswego Hospital, the city ran out of money and had to shut down the operation. Since the hospital closed last May, workers have kept the facility ticking as a medical clinic, but soon that could change. Earlier this week, the City Council voted to get the heart of the hospital pumping once again.
City Council agreed and gave permission to the hospital board to go ahead and proceed with a memorandum of understanding to sell the hospital facility to Mount Carmel Medical Center over in Pittsburgh.
Mount Carmel plans on paying more than $200,000 for the hospital and will reopen the facility within the next few months. When Mount Carmel gets the hospital rolling again, it'll be a 12-bed facility where residents can receive 24-hour emergency care, laboratory and radiology services. But that's not all the benefits patients will receive with a hospital rooted within their community.
If you have a local hospital and an emergency room, seriously ill and injured patients can be brought in, and you can stabilize them and get them in a better condition so they can survive the trip to the larger hospital by ambulance or a helicopter, whichever is needed.
Harrison also says residents will have more of a peace of mind knowing there's a hospital right around the corner. In Oswego, Cheryl Matthews, KSN News Center.
And in economic news tonight, stocks were mixed today with the Dow choking on a rally at the bell. We have more in tonight's business briefing brought to you by Commerce Bank.
Topping today's business brief, new home construction has started to rebound as the winter begins to thaw. The Commerce Department saying housing starts are up 4.1% after a big decline the month before. UAL, meanwhile, says that it has missed a self-imposed deadline for a definitive agreement with its unions on an employee buyout of the airline. The airline is also saying there is no assurance that a final agreement will ever be reached. Last year, the employee group announced plans to swap wage and work concessions for a majority stake in that company. Over on Wall Street, the Dow Jones Industrial Average finished the session slightly lower by about a point or so to finish at about 38.45 and change. That's today's business brief. I'm Sue Herrera.
Mazzio's has something great for only $2.99. It's Mazzio's new 4x4 with 4 meats buried in 4 thick cheeses. Whoa! Or Mazzio's new bacon with hickory smoked and Canadian bacon surrounded by 4 layers of cheese. Best of all, buy any medium or large Mazzio's pizza at the regular price. Get a 4x4 of bacon for $2.99. No lie, dudes, $2.99.
Bacon, 4x4. Bacon, 4x4.
Some of it got down to 29, a little below freezing in northwest Arkansas. First, fair and cool 38 degrees overnight. Sunny, windy, warmer 75 tomorrow, thanks to sun and southwesterly winds 15 to 20.
Don't say anything at all. Get America's #1 selling car at your Ford dealer today.
Are you tired? Over, for sure. For Tonya Harding, her skating career is over, and the investigation with her is over. There is still, of course, some business to be done with the other 3 or 4 guys that were charged and arrested in the case, but we'll fill you in. Hi, everybody. The Nancy Kerrigan saga has come to a quick end tonight, with Tonya Harding agreeing to a plea bargain that keeps her off the ice and out of jail. Jim Hanchett reports.
Tonya Harding agreed to a plea bargain charge of hindering the prosecution in its probe of the attack on rival skater Nancy Kerrigan. As part of the deal, she was fined and agreed to end her career as a competitive figure skater. She will not go to jail, and she did not admit to any prior knowledge of the plan to hobble Kerrigan. The charge stems from Harding's actions after police discovered her entourage's involvement in the plot to attack Kerrigan. She has previously admitted she lied to the FBI about what she knew and when she knew it.
But Tonya has got to take care of Tonya now, and that's what we're going to be about.
Tonya, do you have anything to say at this point?
What about a career? I just want to say thank you to all my family and friends and everybody who's supported me, and just, you know, all the press. I respect that you have a job to do, but please give me my time and my space, and then I'll talk to you. Thank you.
Jeff Gillooly, her ex-husband and one of the masterminds of the scheme, had alleged Harding was in on the plan from the start, but Harding denied that. Harding was planning to leave early Thursday morning for the World Figure Skating Championships in Japan. She smiled and skated superbly at a final practice session earlier today. But she will not go. She has resigned from the U.S. Figure Skating Association, and her career as a competitive skater is finished.
In addition to her fine and court cost, Harding must establish a $50,000 fund for Special Olympics in the state of Oregon.
Reason she has helped numerous people here in the 4-state area.
Okay, Rosemary, just have a seat right there.
Since 1957, Rosemary Stone has been a regular blood donor at the American Red Cross in Jasper County. A healthy person may donate blood every 56 days. And over the years, Rosemary has donated 157 pints, nearly 20 gallons.
I guess just because I knew they needed it, and it's something that I could do that didn't cost any money for me to do, and I could do it for somebody else that needed it. I might need it someday, but I hope not.
Rosemary is also in charge of volunteer help at the Joplin Red Cross office, and she encourages others to take time to volunteer.
It's a two-way street. It makes you feel good if you're doing something for somebody else, and there's a lot of places that need volunteer help. So I think it's advantageous for them to do it. I feel that way with the different things I do.
We rely heavily on her as a volunteer. She does all of the scheduling of the volunteers for our blood mobiles, not only the ones we hold here at the chapter house, but out in industry, the schools, and other places where the mobile is held here in the Joplin area.
As far as being a hero, Rosemary's not so sure.
I don't think that's right. There's many people that do more than I do and never get any credit for it. But no, I'm not. I'm just ordinary, just doing a thing that I can do easily. As I told you, it's harder to do this interview than it is to give blood.
Rosemary also enjoys setting up blood drives at schools and businesses throughout the region. And for being selected as our Hero of the Month, Rosemary also receives dinner for two, courtesy of Friends of the Family and KSN. If you happen to know of someone who has made a difference in your life and would like to see them featured as our Hero of the Month, just write to us in care of KSN TV right here in Joplin.
Well, not unusual for technicians to keep tinkering with the car all the way up till race time. But then again, Laser isn't your average race car. Laser is short for Long Range Advanced Zero Emission Racer. And this isn't your average pit crew either. They're students from Crowder College's Alternative Energy program. And they're trying to get their vehicle primed for the Solar and Electric 500 road race this weekend in Phoenix.
I think we've got a chance to place in the top three for sure if we can keep things together and we've had a lot of support from Eagle Picture and some local industries, and it looks pretty good right now.
Cars in the Phoenix race have the option of utilizing both solar and electric, but this time Crowder opted to go entirely electric. On board will be a single driver and 20 nickel-iron batteries developed by Eagle Picture, especially for electric vehicles. The team hopes to utilize some of their expertise gained from 4 previous road races.
It taught us how to use parts efficiently, how to cut down weight as much as we could, and how to get by with that. And it's just how to work late at night and get things gathered up.
A qualifying race will be held on Saturday, with the 120-mile main event scheduled for Sunday at the Phoenix International Raceway. To be competitive, cars will probably have to average about 65 miles an hour a lap. In Neosho, Stuart Price, KSN News Center.
You have some baseball news for us.
That's right. Royals beat Cleveland in exhibition baseball 8-2, and the Cardinals lost today 7-6 to the Houston Astros. Also, speaking of racing, don't forget the 66 Speedway Play Day, noon on Saturday.
Okay.
Four-state weather, 3 big days until spring.
Looks pretty good, Jim. 8 a.m. forecast for tomorrow. Partly sunny, breezy, mid-40s. I think the only question about tomorrow, will anybody in our viewing area hit 80? I wouldn't be surprised. I'm flirting with the idea of getting the old UV level out again tomorrow.
Pretty close.
First time of the year.
Tomorrow at 6, you'll be at the Business Expo in Pittsburgh.
That's right, downtown Pittsburgh.
We'll look forward to that. Thanks, Ken. And that's news for this Wednesday.
Thanks for being with us. We'll see you again tomorrow night at 6 and 10. Good night.